Good morning, class. How are you? This is Sumaira Hussain here, and today we are going to discuss conditional sentences. We will talk about what are conditional sentences, what are their types, and how we can apply these sentences in our daily conversation. Conditional sentences are the sentences that express one thing contingent on something else. For example, I just give you here an example. If it rains, the picnic will be cancelled. So here, the picnic, it is depending onto the condition of raining. So this can be a wonderful example to describe what are the conditional sentences. They are called conditional sentences because the impact of the main clause of the sentence is conditional and it is depending onto the dependent clause. So here in the structure we find two clauses. One is the main clause and other is the dependent clause, and both the impact of the main clause, it is depending onto the second part of the sentence. There are the four types of the conditional sentences: type 0, type 1, type 2, and type 3. Let's move to the next slide. What is a type 0 sentence? Type 0 sentence. They are used to express something which is always true. So here we will see that we'll find the facts in these sentences. We'll find the facts in these sentences. These are the sentences where we see, and these sentences are mostly used where we are talking about the general truths, things which always happen under certain conditions. These truths are happening, but under certain conditions. And what is in the structure? There, in one part, there comes if and the clause, and present simple. Verb, this is in present simple. And what is in the other clause, which is basically the main clause? There is again the present simple sentence. For example, here is given an example. There can come if or when. So we are using the word if it snows. So this is the condition. If there is a snow, if the snow will fall, if it snows. And what is here the verb? It is in which condition? It is in present simple form. If it snows, comma is there, the roads get slippery and dangerous. Again, there is in the main clause, from here after the comma, the roads get slippery and dangerous. This is main clause. And here is the present simple. So in both the parts, in both the clauses, the verb, this is in present simple form. This is in first form of verb. And here with the dependent clause, it is used if. So if it snows, the roads get slippery and dangerous. And this type of the sentence where the truths, general truths are discussed, presented, these sentences are called 0 type of the conditional sentences. Here I can give you the example, some more example I can share. If you heat the water to 100 degrees, it boils. If you heat the water to 100 degrees, it boils. So here the general truths are exposed in the 0 conditional sentences. Now look at the type 1 conditional sentence. They are used to express real or very probable situations in the present or future. They are also used to give instructions. And what comes in the structure, you can see they are in the dependent clause. There is a if word and present simple. And what comes in the main clause? There is future tense, future simple. There is a imperative verb, imperative type of a sentence. You can see can, may, might, must, should, could. They can come from the modal verbs. So we are talking about possibilities in the present or in the future in this type of the structure of the sentences. And the first conditional sentence, it is used to talk about the things which are possible in the present and in the future. Just look at the example. If they work hard, this is present, they'll finish the project on time. This is future. So in the structure, we'll find present and future verbs. Look there into the second sentence. If they finish the project, call me. If they finish the project, call me. So this is an imperative sentence. And we have already discussed here that here can come future tense or there may come imperative sentence as well. So call me. This is this part, this clause, this is going to start with the verb. So this is a imperative verb. This is imperative sentence. And here, this is a dependent clause, which is going to start with the if, and this is present form. Look at the third type of the sentence. If they work hard. Now work is a present tense again, first form of the verb. And look there into the main clause, there is a use of modal verb. They may finish, and finish is verb, infinitive verb. So this we find in type 1, conditional sentences, where we are talking about possibilities in present or in future tense. And for that, how we are going to just construct the sentences. To one end, there is a present tense, and in the other side, there in the main clause, there may come the future tense, there can come the imperative sentence, and there may come the modal verb. So we are talking about the probabilities. We are talking about the possibilities in the present and future. So we have discussed zero conditional sentence and type 1 conditional sentence. Now, dear learners, move to the third type of the conditional sentences, type 2 conditional sentences. And what comes here? In type 2 conditional sentences, we find the structure used for unreal situations. Used for unreal situations in the present and again in the future. The second conditional sentence, it is used to talk about the things which are unreal, which are not true, which are not possible in the present or in the future things, which don't or won't happen. How? We will see it. We are going to talk about the imaginary situations. These are contrary to the facts, not real. These are contrary to the fact in the present, and therefore are unlikely to happen in the present or future. They are used to give advice. So what comes in the dependent clause sentence? It will start with if, and there is the past tense, okay? And there in the main clause, there may come would, could, might, or bare infinitive. You can see there in the example, if I didn't have to work so much. So this is our dependent clause, and here didn't, this is past tense. And I won't be so tired, as we have discussed, that then the main clause that can come would, could, might, or bare infinitive. So this is use of would with not. And now look at the next sentence. If the weather were better, again past tense, we could or might have a picnic. So again, the use of would, could, or might. So in this way, the second conditional sentence structure, we have just seen here that how the second type of conditional sentence, it can be organized or it can be structured. So these are the imaginary situations for which we are going to organize and construct these sentences. Now look at the type 3 conditional sentences. Type 3 conditional sentences. In the type 3 conditional sentences, we'll observe the structure of the sentences, where we are talking about unreal situations. We are going to talk about unreal situations of the past time. The third conditional sentence, it is used to talk the things which did not happen in the past. If in your native language, it doesn't have a similar construction, you might find this a little strange, but it can be useful. It is often used to express criticism or regret. Okay, we normally use these in order to express our regrets and criticism and the situations of the and the facts of the past times, which actually doesn't happen. Now look here, how is the construction? They are in the dependent clause. There are the two clauses. One is the dependent and the other one is independent. In the dependent clause, which is going to start with if, we'll see that there is used past perfect tense, had plus third form. And what comes in the main clause? Would or could or might plus have plus past participle. Okay. So you can see how if he had been more careful, So this is, we can see the use of past perfect tense. If he had been more careful, he won't have made such a big mistake. Past participle is used here. If he would, use of would is picked from the list, and plus for past participle, what is the wording which is used over there? That is, he won't have made. Made is past participle, such a big mistake. So this is the sentence example for the type 3 unreal past situation sentences. Now look there into the next example. If you had not had a lot of luck, again past tense that's used here, had not had a lot of luck, past perfect tense, had and third form. We know about that has, have and had. Had is the third form. So if you hadn't had a lot of luck, you could or might have lost all your luck. So what comes here in this combination? Use of would or could or might plus past participle. So in this way, type 3 conditional sentence, this has been constructed or organized. There are some mixed conditional sentences as well, and this obviously we will discuss in the next class for your better and perfect understanding. I'm just going to wind it up again, that conditional sentences, what are their main clause and its impact, it's depending on to the dependent clause. And this is a conditional sort of a relationship where one part, it is depending on to the other. And there are 4 types of the conditional sentences: zero conditional type of a sentence, type 1 type of, and type 2 and type 3 of conditional sentence. What comes in type 0? If clause and present simple. And what is there in the main clause? There is the present simple. So this is the structure of type 0 conditional sentence. Now just move to the type 1. What is the formation here? We find present simple, and obviously there is coming if as well. Then in this main clause, there may be future imperative, there may be future tense, there may be imperative type of a sentence, and the use of model sentences, and examples are given here. So what is the formation there in type 2 sentences? If clause, past simple, and in the main clause we'll see that would, could or might with the bare infinitives. And type 3, if clause, past perfect tense, and what comes in the main clause? Would, could, might, and plus have and plus past participle. So, dear learners, this is today's class lesson where we have discussed what are the conditional sentences and what are the types. And afterwards, I'm going to share a worksheet with you that is your homework, and you have to complete those sentences there. I have given there the dependent clause, and you have to you have to link a main clause there with those independent clauses. I hope that you have the better understanding of this lesson. Thank you very much. Stay blessed and goodbye.